Typhoon Shanshan, which is forecast to bring heavy rain and strong winds, forcing airlines and railways to preemptively cancel services over the coming days. Shanshan is expected to make landfall in Japan's southwestern Kyushu Island in the coming days, with the Japan Meteorological Agency considering issuing a special warning for Kagoshima Prefecture. The typhoon is expected to approach Japan's central and eastern regions, which includes the capital Tokyo, around the weekend. As a precautionary measure, major airlines have cancelled domestic flights slated to leave or arrive in southwestern Japan till Friday. Some bullet train services in the area are also expected to be cancelled on Wednesday and Thursday. And India's Chris Gilbert joins us for more from Tokyo on this. Well, Chris, there are forecasts for strong winds, high waves and high tides. How is Japan bracing for the Typhoon Shanshan?
Well, I think you've summarized the situation very concisely. Amami Island, which is halfway between Okinawa and Kyushu, the western main island of Kyushu, has been experiencing the brunt of it for the last 24 hours or so. The 42,000 residents on the island were given a day's notice to prepare for evacuation, and then they were given the evacuation as ahead of time. So that's one measure that's been implemented, at least for Amami. You mentioned already the warnings, the special warnings that have been put in place by the Meteorological Agency, especially for Kagoshima Prefecture, Miyazaki Prefecture and the rest of Kyushu. The bullet trains there are expected to stop at around 8 p.m. local time tonight, so about 6 hours from now, and that's going into Thursday. And the bullet trains for the rest of the country, extending from Fukuoka all the way the width of the country to Tokyo, are expected to be impacted over the coming days. 9,000 air passengers have been affected already. And while you know, the storm is yet to approach and there's yet to be seen the scale of it, and it is expected to be a storm which brings landslides, flooding, rain, which is not seen very often. In fact, the Meteorological Agency is asking people to prepare for disasters which are only seen every few decades, which tracks with what else the Meteorological Agency is saying in general, which is that typhoon season in Japan is arriving earlier. These typhoons are usually seen in September historically, and the typhoons are becoming slower, extending their impact to regions, and they are becoming stronger. All of these factors attributable to warmer ocean temperatures created by global warming and trends which will only increase in the future.
All right, so local warnings have been issued, advisories have been issued. What are the precautions being taken by the people there?
Well, there is a great concern for Japan's older population. About a third of the country is over 65. The vast majority of those people live in rural areas in the countryside and are not extremely mobile. They sometimes have difficulty receiving evacuation orders or warnings. And so, as we saw on Amami Island, there is a lot of focus on getting the word out to evacuate ahead of time, well ahead of time. And there's also extensive warnings in place for people to not be complacent away from the storm's path at the moment, because the rest of Japan, away from West Japan, is already experiencing deluges as a knock-on effect of the warm air coming from the typhoon. We saw Aichi Prefecture, which is halfway between Osaka and Tokyo, over the last 2 days, receive a whole August's worth of rainfall in just a short period. And what that resulted in, as we've already seen, is a landslide that hit a house with 5 people inside. 2 have been rescued. The other 3 are still unaccounted for, and the storm hasn't even hit that part of the country yet. And so there is a high risk of landslides and mudslides for many parts of the country, as well as high river warnings and flood warnings. And that is something that the authorities are urging people to be vigilant of, even if the storm is not arriving in that part of the country yet. They want everyone to be prepared for potential disasters that could result from it.
All right, a lot of vigilance required there. Thank you so much, Chris, for all that update.